Hey everybody, it's time for another real life superhero intro for my YouTube channels. For my YouTube channels and real life super and action hero vigilante Facebook fan page. This video, this is nothing different. It's another skinny jeans sweatsuit costume intro, and this only difference between this and the previous one, this is more positive. In this one I wear my rare blue and orange skinny jeans sweatsuit with the blue sweat jacket with zipper and the orange skinny jeans with the other accessories that go with it. Because yesterday while out on patrol, my slick cool goth emo rock and roll baggy skinny jeans sweatsuit black baggy skinny jeans sweatsuit, it was pouring, it was heavy rain yesterday, pouring, and yesterday it got soaked so bad that the clothes which hasn't been washed in 2 to 3 weeks was just stinking terribly. The stench was too strong, even too strong for me, that I had to change clothes and put it in the wash. So now I'm wearing the blue and orange. In this video, I also want to redo this video this will be the first time that I have an intro where I won't use either of the Sonic I won't use either of the Sonic themes. Instead, I'll be using 2 pro wrestling themes, and both of them are for the professional wrestler Jeff Hardy. As is my costume and my mannerisms in the video will be similar to Jeff Hardy and several other wrestlers. So several other wrestlers such as Booker T, and of course the usual ones: Teddy Hart, Bobby Lashley, and Brian Cage. Well, anyway, yeah, I'll be using 2 songs. I will once again be using "Modest" to the top, and I will also be using "Modest" to the top, the 2010 remix, and the 2012 and 13 Similar Creatures theme. So with that being said, let's get this intro started right now.
Yeah, it's giving grandma tendencies. Grandma,
straight to the top, the wind can head up and start showing you why we should go. No one is real, no one is still the only way to blow the bands and dirties. No way that your body's as strong as your face in this life. There's a lot to be good. The showcase is more show again. Life with a little show how this time you don't have to lie. Show how the way to make it right. Make it. Show
everybody. It's now time for my real life superhero review, on camera webcam review of the 1980s sci-fi superhero family cartoon, the Bionic Six. To see the previous portions, the previous 3 parts, the links will be in the description box below. Yeah. Episode 10, Family Affairs, How It All Began, which is the origin episode, will play in the background. And like I said in part 1, this is my review of the entire season 1, which, like I said in part 1, was a phenomenal season and was a phenomenal start to the series. Each episode 1 through 13 was awesome. There are actually more episodes in the actual season 1 of this show. But like I said in part 1, 2, and 3, I'm reviewing this season base, so it's 13 episodes each. This season, 13 episodes, then 13 more, and then 17 to 18 more, because there were a total of 43 episodes. Could have sworn there were 65 and then 40, but it turns out it was 43. So, yeah. So yeah, there will be a total of 3. There will be a total of 3 seasons. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, everything about this show was phenomenal. The only thing I didn't like about this show was only thing I don't like about this show, besides that IQ plot hole I mentioned in part 3. In part 3 was show is kind of forgettable. The show is kind of forgettable. It's one of those shows you'll be blown away when you watch this show. It's awesome. It's phenomenal. Everything, the action, the comedy, the drama, and the adventure. It has it all. Everything. However, when you finish watching the show, you'll forget everything. You'll be blown away when you watch the show, but when you forget, when you're done, you'll forget everything you just saw. Yeah. Bionic Six. This show, according to Wikipedia, Wikipedia, was produced by Universal Television and animated by Tokyo Movie Shinista, now known as TMS Entertainment, and distributed through burst syndication by MCA TV years before the later company became NBC Universal Television Distribution. Renowned Japanese anime director Asuma Dazaku was involved as the chief supervising advisor, in his distinctive style as seen in Go 13 and one of my favorite animes, Space Fighter Cobra. Space Fighter Cobra was evident through all of its episodes, and character designs were provided by Noburuto Yuki. Yeah, this show felt and looked like an anime in various scenes, and the cartoons of the late 80s, early 90s, such as the Centurions, Visionaries, Age of Magic, the 1994 Fantastic Four cartoon, the 1994 Iron Man cartoon, the Toxic Crusaders cartoon, and the Hanna-Barbera cartoon Fantastic Max, and a much cooler and superior version of Captain Planet is what this cartoon reminds me of. So yeah, this cartoon, yeah,
We are a family. We are a family.
yeah. This cartoon, of course, was based upon the Bionic 1. This cartoon was based, of course, the Bionic Woman and the $1 Million Man cartoon. Like I said in part 3, it was supposed to be a show centered around the Austin family, which was, I think, featured in the Bionic 1 or $1 Million Bionic Woman or $1 Million Man cartoon, but somewhere during production that got scrapped and it became about about the Jack Bennett family. Who Jack 1, he was the first bionic superhero, the first to be equipped with bionics by Professor Sharp. Sharp, it was already acting as a superhero. On one vacation, I think to the Arctic. The other sorry about that. The other family, the other members of the family,
Ellen.
sorry about that. The other members of the family,
4 a.m. I guess they ought to be asleep.
the other members of the family, which of course consists of the mother and wife of Jack Bennett, Helen Bennett. They're two Caucasian kids. Sport one, rock one, the Asian karate one, and James the white something, who becomes IQ on one mission. They all get injured, and so to save their lives,
baseball in his sleep.
To save their lives, Jack Bennett has Professor Sharp equipped them with bionics, and just like Jack 1, each one gains abilities. The two Caucasian siblings of the family roll the male, he's a baseball and sports enthusiast, so he has a costume and powers similar to sports. He becomes Sport One. The female is a rock and roll enthusiast. As such, she has a costume and abilities similar to rock and roll music. She becomes Rock One. James, the Afro-American character, IQ James, he becomes IQ because due to his intelligence, and he has excellent boxing skills. And then you got the Asian, voiced by Brian Toichi. He becomes Karate One, the most mischievous member. He's the most mischievous member of the family, and then they're aided by a robotic monkey named a childish robotic monkey named Fluffy. So throughout the series, they fight and save the world from a feud and beef with Dr. Sharp's brother, Dr. Scarab, who leads his own team of super villain mutants. First, that's revealed in episode 10, were all ordinary people first, and
Little did we know that creatures from another world.
And through his inventions, turned them all into super mutants. You got the first, a big purple skinned mutant named Glove, who's the second in command, and wishes to overthrow. He's the only one to talk trash to, and plots to overthrow Dr. Scarab. He's also the one, according to Wikipedia, who receives the brunt of Dr. Scarab's anger when they fail missions. Number two,
these little high-tech improvements we can see
Number two
anywhere.
is the only female member of the group, Madam O, who according to Wikipedia was seen to be just an ordinary elderly woman before she got her powers. Then you got she has a habit of calling people darling at the end of each sentence. Then you got the third guy. You got mechanic. Mechanic, who reminds me of the Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk and the Thing, only he's a bad guy. He's the dim-witted childish member. He's the dim-witted childish member of the group. And of the three is one of the 4 to 5 characters. There is one of the least evil of the young group. Then you got another weird guy named Chopper, Chopper, and then last but not least, you got Clunk. You got the least evil member of the group, and even more childish than Mechanic, and that is Clunk. That is Clunk, a big, strong mutant animal, sludge monster, reminiscent of Marvel's Man Thing and DC's Swamp Thing, who is so fiercely intimidating that Dr. Scarab himself is sometimes afraid of him, and is happy he's on Dr. Scarab's side. So that's your bad guys. That's your bad guys. And while there are a bunch of supporting characters, the show mostly follows the confrontations between these characters over the course of all 13 plus episodes. The main antagonist, Dr. Scarab, his ultimate goal, his ultimate end game is to rule the world and achieve immortality. And he believes these goals are possible through the use of his brother, Dr. Sharp's bionic technology, and does everything in his power to steal this bionic technology for himself. The legendary voice actors, the legendary late great John Stephenson, Frank Welker, who most people know as he's Megatron. He's a lot of people. He's Megatron in Transformers. He's also Freddy in Scooby-Doo, and Brian Toichi for Revenge of the Nerds. He's Karate One. He's Karate One here. Also known him as Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, and Karate One is vastly similar to Liu Kang and Ryu from Street Fighter. I can see why the people behind Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm got Brian Toichi to play Liu Kang in that series. The voice fits. He played a similar character here in Bionic 1 several years prior.
I can't believe it, Mom. Dad is Bionic 1. And wacky old Professor Sharp is his boss? Boggles the mind.
Mom, why didn't you tell us? Your dad and I just wanted to keep your lives as normal as possible.
Like I said in part 1, the only problem with this show is that it's forgettable. I had to rewatch and reread the episodes numerous times before I finally recorded these 2 reviews right here. And I have to do it again for the post-episode review and reactions, because I'm not telling you a lot. I don't have a lot to tell you right here for the post-episode review and reactions, which I debuted with my late 2010s, early 2020s Disney Channel shows. I'm also bringing it for other television shows and retro and current cartoons. Cartoons and animes. This was a phenomenal season. Each episode was exciting. Like I said, episode 1, where the bad guys try to Dr. Scarab actually discovers the power of immortality, but it has a price and it causes them to rapidly age, so you have to do something to reverse it. Episode 2 centers around Karate One entering a underground illegal karate tournament. Episode 4, one of the most interesting episodes, where the bad guy Clunk is in love and falls in love with a sea creature and does everything in his power, even briefly turning against his own minions to achieve it, and briefly teaming up with the Bionic Six to save the creature. And then episode 5, Radio Spirit, where Dr. Scarab builds a machine to transmit waves that interfere and damage the Bionics programming, causing their powers to act up and do bad things. Then you got the darkest episode, Family Affairs, where the mother of Dr. Scarab and Dr. Sharp, their mother passes away, and the two agree to a truce, but Dr. Scarab, being a bad guy, has no intentions of going through with this truce. And at the end of the episode, it's revealed that he plotted the whole death thing to get to lure Dr. Sharp, to lure Dr. Sharp into that false sense of security. And the mother is seen alive at the end of the episode. But that right there was pretty dark for a 80s cartoon. Episode 7, another scary episode, Happy Birthday Cameras, where Karate One, the mischievous prankster of the group, wanted to dress up as Dr. Scarab, hide inside the cave, and jump out and scare Dr. Sharp. He kept doing it to the rest of his family. The rest of his family actually goes along with this plan, and this causes Dr. Scarab to kidnap Karate One and briefly switch places with him. It's not until Karate One gets free and warns them all that he is able to save the day. One of the many times Dr. Scarab came close to defeating the Bionics in this episode right here. Then you got episode 10, the origin episode, which you're watching in the background, where they show you how it all began. They show you how the bad guys, Dr. Scarab and his men, became who they were. They show you them just being ordinary people who wanted power, and Dr. Scarab gives it to them and turns them all into these superhuman mutants. Clunk, I forgot if it's just Clunk, more so than anyone there, desperately wants to be a human again. I mentioned him being the least evil of the group there. Then you got the Bionics. Then it shows you how the Bionic family, their accent, how they became who they were. And then at the end of the episode, when the Bionics agree to become a superhero team, you hear the legendary Bionics, the awesome catchy Bionics theme play in the background. Then episode 11 and 12, which were even more. Episode 11 and 12, which were a two-parter where Dr. Scarab built a machine to bring dinosaurs to the present and allow them to time travel, and they all get stuck in the past and briefly have to work together to get back to the future without damaging the past, as that would damage their future. So that's what happens over in episode 13, the final one. Not as good as those other ones I just mentioned, but a good episode to close out season 1. This is not the actual final episode of the real season 1 of the series, but it's the final episode for this review, for this final episode of this season for this review right here, because I review a season based 13 episodes plus, and this was the fluffy, the robotic monkey themed episode where he enjoys watching a Voltron inspired cartoon called Cyclone the something, and at a convention, Clunk, who also likes this childish cartoon, meets his hero, and is disappointed to find that his hero is good, and calls him lame and weak. So he takes control of the actor's giant robotic costume and uses it to control Fluffy, and causes him to commit various crimes and turn against the Bionics, but everything is resolved in the end. So this was season 1 of the Bionics, and there will be post-episode review reactions to furthermore explain what happens in each episode. Gotta rewatch them all again. Because like I said, that's the only problem I have with this show. The show is all action, drama, comedy, adventure, soundtrack, superb voice acting. It has it all. However, its biggest flaws, it's not memorable. And I mentioned that secret identity plot hole, how none of the Bionics have actual secret identities or anything covering their faces to where people can't tell where they are. So despite all that, people still can't tell where they are. And in one episode, IQ in the two-parter, the subplot involving him falling in love with an Afro-American girl who appreciates his genius and everything. But at the end of the episode, she sees his cooler superhero alter ego IQ and develops a crush on him when it's the same person. Nothing is different about them except their costume and wardrobe. But other than that, phenomenal series, and way better than people in the YouTube channel I saw reviewing this gave it credit for. Well, yeah. I could have sworn there was a comic book tie-in with this show, but it turns out there wasn't. They were going to develop a comic book with this show, so there'll be no comic book tie-in review, but I could have sworn there was one. I had one planned, but this was my
I can't believe it. The signal
review
is back.
of
Professor, I guess I have to go back.
the
You have it wrong.
Bionic 6
From now
cartoon.
on,
Real
we
life
work
superhero review
together.
of the Bionic 6 cartoon. You want to hear the rest of the music?
Well,
Turn
thanks to Professor Sharp,
the video
from now
off
on,
right now. Turn the
the
video off
Bionic Six.
right now. With that being said, finish for now. Oh yeah, once again, the CEO departs in the description box below.
Thanks to my genius, from now on Bionic One doesn't stand a chance.
And so, we return to the Himalayas.
To the top.